Hello and welcome to this episode of the Niche Nation podcast, where we are coming in with uncut, real, rooted, truthful stories full of medicine, ready to bring you something a bit more eye opening about what it takes to be a part of this world and this experience. Today, I'm super stoked to have the Dwayne a part of our journey and to show a bit of a holy shit roller coaster and knowing that our story matters. So, Dwayne, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. First of all, I want to thank your listeners for taking the time out of their busy day, whether it's the morning, evening, or night. You know, I, I such a place of gratitude for me, and just to be known that know someone's giving me their time is just so much value. And so, uh, hopefully, they're going to be enjoying my story and enjoying the whole thing. But I just want to express my gratitude.
Yeah, and you know what? I when we had our short little kind of interview a couple of weeks back, I didn't really know what to expect, and by the end of it I walked off being like, "Holy shit." Like that was a journey for just the few seconds I was wanting to not know the full extent of it. So I'm just super excited to witness and thank you for your time and willing to be vulnerable and share your story.
Oh yeah, so you're welcome, and thank you. I appreciate you so much for having me on and giving me your platform. But also, like when we had that conversation, it was like, okay, we gotta wait. But so I'll go ahead and dive in. So give your listeners a chance to know who I am. So I'm Dwayne Morton. I'm a former international basketball player, and so I did that at the age of 19. And so you're going to hear some different challenges that I had, but the challenges, there's this one pivotal point in my timeline that happened while I was playing basketball overseas, and like that is actually one of the reasons why I'm able to push through. And so the basketball part's a very big part. It's a very big part of my life. It's one of the things I love, but it's really not the biggest part. And even on that trip, there was a little boy who actually stole the show and stole my heart. And so I'll tell you the story of what really gave me my core or my foundation of gratitude. So there was a little boy who, through my interpreter, was hungry, and he asked for some food. And so I'm a very picky eater. I didn't want to eat it. And the little boy like ate the plate of food. And so when we asked the little boy how long it had been since he had eaten, and it had been 3 days, and he had eaten rocks. So for me, at 19 years old, I was like, I've never had to worry about food, water, shelter, the three core essential items. And so for me, it was a very eye opening experience. And it made me understand and realize that my nightmares are potentially someone else's dreams.
Mm.
And so I ended up playing basketball. Like I said, at the overseas part, I came home and I ended up injuring my left knee. So I had an agent. I was looking to like make money, do the fun stuff, right? I was never going to make it to the NBA. It just wasn't like that was not my trajectory as a player. Excuse me. And so when the knee injury didn't go well, like the knee surgery, sorry. So I had the knee injury, I had knee surgery, and so the knee surgery did not go well, and it was like it's time to hang it up. It's not worth it. And so that was challenge one. And so I feel like that challenge actually set me up for the next challenge. And the next challenge was at 29 years old. I was still trying to figure it out. Like I knew different things. I had a decent mindset. I had a strong mindset. To me, I had a very strong mindset, but some of my peers, they were like, what is he doing? He's just like living his life and just, trying to figure it out. It's extremely
Mhm.
what I was doing. I was trying to figure it out. So at 29, I ended up having an issue where I was diagnosed with a rare blood cancer. So at that time, it was not as well known as it is now. It's actually pretty well known now. And so the doctors didn't really know what it was. It's like there was like 200,000 people global that had it. And so they gave me initially 5 years. And that honestly has just kind of came up like in the last, like, say, few weeks. My brother reminded me that that's what the doctor initially told him and my parents. And so I talked to another physician who was a close friend with me, and he gave me the truth, and he said, "You got about 15 years."
Mm.
And so we won't even talk about the challenge of it. We'll just talk about this little piece because I think it's extremely important. So I did not go and have a wife, and I didn't go have kids. I decided, hey, I didn't want anyone to carry my burden. So that's a lot. And then here's another. A few years ago, it'll be 3 in May. I was driving by and a police shootout happened. A criminal took a hidden gun, shot an officer, and during this like shootout, I just so happened was taking my niece to go get ice cream that day. Driving the truck, we somehow got caught up in the crossfire, and a bullet hit the truck. And when I say the bullet was very close to taking me out, it was an eighth of an inch to taking me out if it had been to the left, an eighth of an inch to the right, it would have took out my little niece who was 3 years old at the time. So I was dealing with survivor's guilt and PTSD. And then I look at that as a miracle, just let y'all know. But then also, March of last year, I was trying to figure it out. I was like, what? Hold on a second. 15 years from 2006, I should have already been dead. Why am I here? What is this purpose?
Mm-hmm.
So I find out March 2024, I misdiagnosed the rare blood cancer that I was fighting for 18 years. I don't have. I ended up having severe sleep apnea.
Wow.
And so through 2024, I worked with different healing modalities. And that's how I became what I call Mr. Show Up to Win.
Mm.
And so 2025 is just this journey of like getting my program. And so go ahead.
I was like, holy shit. Like, that's the reality when you could have just taken that manifestation of like, you're going to die in 5 years, tapped it out, ended it, been through your own victimness. But again, it's just like that whole layer, like you say, of mindset of like, what's the purpose? What am I needing to show up and do? And then, the basketball career and then the shooting. Like, it's hard sometimes when people hear our stories, right? They're like, and that happened, and that happened. Like, they don't know how to sometimes register what that severity and that depth is. And how do you feel when you do talk to people? Like, how are you needing that awareness or that support when you have had all this information jammed in this lifetime?
So, I mean, I'll be honest, like it took a while to figure it out. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like anything else. Like if I go ride a bike, like I had to learn how to ride a bike.
Mm.
Like you're gonna fall. So same thing when you have these challenges, you have to fall. And so what those are, those are lessons. Those aren't losses. Same
Mhm.
thing when I lose a basketball game. Like, and I'm saying lose is like for everybody else, the game's over. I didn't score enough points. I look at it as I did not have enough time on the clock. So it's just how you like look at it. It's a mindset type thing.
Mhm.
And I try to learn from the games. And I feel like when you're able to play at that level, that's when the magic happens.
Yeah.
But it's not easy to get to be able to play in that level. And trust me, there was setbacks after setbacks after setbacks.
Mhm.
But the lessons were learned. And so there's an aspect of this where I felt like it happened to me, right?
Yep.
It happened to me. That's what you would say. It's a victim mentality, though.
Mhm.
And then I thought, man, I couldn't have done all this maybe in many lifetimes. So it kind of happened for me, right? Like, let's be honest. It's kind
Right.
of happened for me. But the most the biggest shift happened, I want to say a little bit before Christmas, right after Christmas. A friend of mine said, "No, Dwayne, it happened through you because you're
Mm,
telling your story and you're serving it. So you're giving it back to people. And so, whatever you believe, that's fine. I'm not here to like judge the beliefs. Like, I believe in God. And
yep.
so, I believe that I was chosen
Yep.
because I could go through it so other people could learn the lesson that I am teaching them."
Mhm. Mhm. You know, and that's where when we chatted, that's what I loved about our conversation. Like, there are so many people, not men, not women, not kids, not elders. It's people struggle with having such sometimes a destined purpose that has a lot of dips and valleys and crevasses or black holes to journey from and try and figure out where they're going to get through on the other end. Like, that's a whole other ball game, right? Like, you have to be willing to that purpose before you even existed or thought or perceived what life should be. It's an innate knowing and being in your heart that this is what I need to be doing.
Yeah. So, here's something that's like, I feel very unique in my story is my mom and my aunt Donna. I don't ever like say her name, but I'm gonna say it here. They always said that I was special. And here's
Yeah.
the thing: is like, let's look at it this way: how we build up kids, and then the kids get taken down through either the education system,
Mm.
the classmates,
Mhm.
because guess what? They don't have that. And they don't believe it themselves. That's the whole thing is like, I talk to people all the time and they're like, I can't believe you did this, this, this. I was like, well, I mean, I understand that, but like, I believe I could.
Yeah.
I dream now. Don't get me wrong. There was times where people took stuff over me. I was bullied. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, but my mindset was still strong. It just wasn't like it is now, where I'm just like, hey, like, okay, I'm taking over the planet, and I don't mean that like, I mean that like in a pinky in the brain type thing. Like,
Yeah.
when I heard that, I was like, I like this. I don't know how to do this, but like that's the type of mindset I want.
Yeah.
Is like I want it all. I'm supposed to be an abundant creature,
Mhm. Mhm.
so everything is like supposed to be available.
Yeah.
But I'm not a materialistic person. Like
I,
I
I
want the
want I
yeah.
want people to understand that, right? Abundant versus materialistic and greedy. Like, that's a big difference. And again, in some of our other podcasts that we've had, we're talking about language, right? The language that we hold and we dedicate our existence to. We are supposed to receive all the sunlight we need, all the water we need, all the food we need, right? That is supposed to be a lot coming to you. But in the world, it's supposed to be rationed or monopolized or owned or controlled, right? Like, that's a whole other different ball game. And I think that's cool that your international um drive and passion brought you to exactly facing that non-abundance that could have been you, right?
Yeah. So excuse me. So I grew up in a small rural town in Kentucky. Like there's the town that the shooting happened. It's 5,000 people. It's where I grew up at. I
Mm.
live in like a I joke around. It's like a village outside of it, but like I grew up around like my grandpa's house was my grandparents, my grandma and grandpa, but
Mhm.
also like I was surrounded by cornfield and I loved it. And so that's the thing is like I feel people just don't know what they love. And like
Mm.
I was very young when I found out, and I feel like my lesson in resiliency and persistency also happened with basketball when I was 4 years old,
Yeah.
because I took a basketball that was probably really heavy for a 4 year old,
Mm.
and so The height of the basketball go was at 10 foot the whole time. Like it was at 10 foot. It wasn't where you can raise and lower it. It wasn't
Mhm.
until later on we got one of those. So my 4-year-old self, it was like I wasn't trying to hit the shot, and that's why I keep telling people I was had go of let me just hit the net. Okay,
Mm. Yeah.
let's hit the
Yeah.
net, and then let's hit the rim,
Yeah.
and then let's see if it goes over the rim and it goes in. Okay, cool. And then let's just keep going. And then it got better and I got better. And so
Yeah.
that's really, I feel like that's also how I fell in love with was that persistency of, but it also, I feel like that's what gave me the resiliency to be the resilient person that I am now.
Mhm. Now, this is kind of an untalked about topic about how, because I grew up in an area like hockey or sometimes baseball would kind of get a little bigger in areas and stuff, or golf. um but this story hits home for me because my dad always said he was really good at hockey, and everybody else would talk about how good my dad was at hockey. And we go into small communities. My husband is like was really good at hockey. So a lot of these, I don't want to say just genetically men, but like people who are a bit more passionate or driven in a sport, are really good at this. They might go into like high school, and then they get into college, and then they get into those like beer leagues after. But I would love to hear your point of view of like, yours was an entry out, right? But what did that feel like, having to like pull apart your identity now, not Dwayne, the back smasher, or those kinds of things anymore? Like, how did you process that at that time? Because I know that there's a lot of people still to this day, they're coaching and they're hiding behind this hurt that they didn't pursue, or there was an opportunity that chopped them at their legs, and they didn't get to succeed to that maybe competitive or next level in the
Sure.
industry.
So it's a great question. So I think it's kind of more each to their own about like what they went through. And also I feel like some people like reach their potential and they feel like they reached their potential, and some people feel like they didn't. So just to let you know, like my basketball career, like I was good. I was definitely good enough to make the teams. And then there was times like I was just on the bench. And so honestly, what's crazy about my story is I didn't play my last 2 years of high school. I actually quit.
Yeah.
That's actually where my spiritual journey actually like kind of kicked off is my grandma passed away and I didn't know what to do. There was all kinds of like one of my most important people in the world like just left. I'm depressed. I'm sad. There was
Yeah.
nowhere I could go. That's the other thing. So like the way Canada is about hockey, the state of Kentucky
Yeah.
is there's three things that we're like really, really passionate about, okay? And that's basketball,
Yeah.
bourbon, and the
Yeah.
Kentucky Derby.
Mm. Yeah.
But I feel like the thing is for me, I reached what I felt was my potential, my ceiling. And if I would have maybe worked harder when I was younger, or like there's a certain period where I didn't put in the work, then
Mhm.
maybe I would feel like, oh, I could have done this. I just feel like my ceiling was done. Don't get me wrong. Do I wish that I could go back and I could take what I know now and apply it? And that's usually what happens with athletes. So they're like, well, I know I could do this. Yes, you could because you have that mind.
Mm.
Again, it's another mental advantage.
Yeah.
So if I know how to play blackjack and you don't, and we go to the table, I should make more money than you because you don't know. And
Yeah.
that's I feel like knowledge sometimes gets passed over, but also the big part of my story too is I taught myself visualization. I didn't even know what that was. Like
Yeah.
that's the crazy part is it happened when I was in middle school in typing class. It wasn't actually
Mm.
what class, but it was like at home when I was learning how to type. I visualized the keyboard because you had to memorize it, right?
Yes.
So whenever something came on TV that like had a word, like on TV, like I would type it out, but I would actually like close my eyes and type it out. But I would
Wow.
do the the motor function too.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Oh
I
my.
got the confidence and the experience, and then I applied it to basketball later on. And I think that was just, was it dumb luck? No, it was instinct. It was my intuition, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I think so many people move past, and this is what we're really discovering on the podcast lately, is how fucking simple these things we do work. They work. It's not
Everything's simple.
complicated. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We complex everything. So think about the just the core limiting beliefs, right?
Yep.
If we did not have all this other stuff, right? And
Mhm.
when I say that is like public speaking, and you got to do this, like you got to show up on time for this. Like it wasn't like that. Like think about the caveman days, and like they had that figured out. Like they had it all figured out.
Yeah.
And we just, civilization happened, and there's some
Mm.
great things about civilization, and there's some things that like our human nature was like, maybe this isn't the way to go. And so that's when, there's a difference between the belief, as like if I'm fearful of like a bear,
Mm.
like the bear, yeah, that like that bear could kill me. But my fear of like public speaking, my
Yeah.
fear of, and that's another thing too, is like I have an issue of expecting kids to be able to do public speaking when, or like have to speak in front of class, right? That's how they're supposed to learn. But literally, you can go to any workplace, and when someone has to speak in front of they're scared to death,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So why am I expecting little uh, Johnny and Jane to be able to do it? Because I know probably half of, probably three quarters of my friends would not get up and do a speech in front of their workplace, right?
Yep. Yep.
And
I,
so, go ahead.
I,
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, that's kind of the thing, as people are witnessing this expression moving forward of what is life really meant for, dream about it, view, feel it, get inspired about it. Like, these things are destined to us for a reason. And a lot of people say, well, that's too ooga booga, or that's too this or that. It's facts. It's the way that I explain it as like a magnet. We are attracting what is in our energy. So if you're tired of the bullshit, you got to check your visors and see, what are you still looking through in a lens that isn't bringing that, that score, right? Why are you constantly missing that shot, right?
No, so the law of attraction is real. It's science
Mm,
based. It's
yeah.
science based. So I feel people just don't, they want to say trust the science, but then they want to back away from the science when the science is just right there, smack dab in your face.
Yeah.
So the other thing is like, I'm going to bring up a really good friend of mine, and so she is into quantum healing. And so I don't know how it works. Like I was just going to tell you, I know a little bit about it, but like my friend is like a world renowned expert. And so Victoria Rader is amazing. And so that's who I get to learn from,
Mm,
and from her community. And so she's friends with Dr. Joe Vitale.
yeah.
So yeah, like big time, right?
Mhm.
But it's all science based. And so it's no different than the way she explained it. It's just like if I go shoot a basketball, right? So my technique gets the ball up in the air, but the ball spinning, all of that, the trajectory, that's the quantum healing part.
Mm, mhm.
Yes. And so when you think about that, it's like I can't control it. I controlled it to a point, and I can target it. But that part of the energy, that's not me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many people, because I love sports, but I wouldn't say like I'm a guru or a master in like knowing a lot about the lines and this and that. But when when you're looking at kind of motivation and things like that, like obviously Michael Jordan, everybody knows like that comes high up into the ranking. Kobe comes into that journey. You know, Wayne Gretzky was something that was special for us in hockey. You know, other things in football, I wasn't as good in that. But what I'm saying is, when I watched the documentary with Michael Jordan, I don't know, did you watch that one?
I'm sure I've watched it because I
Okay.
love Michael Jordan. I mean, I have a Michael Jordan
Yeah.
huge Foot Locker sign that one of my friends gave me, and like it was supposed to be thrown away. By the way, like they're not supposed to give promo stuff, and he knew I was going through some stuff, and he was like, "Hey, you can have it. Just get it out
Amazing.
today." Yeah,
Yeah. And so in his documentary about his life, he talked about all of this. He talked about visualization, knowing he was something special, but like dedication, you know, did he get caught up in all the other bullshit? His dad died, right? That was his rock and his purpose. Didn't know if he was going to come back in the industry or not. Like all of these things, you know, our stories feel and seem unique, but it all happens to somebody in some degree. It's what makes you unique is if you're willing to do the work and you're willing to persevere and understand what's the route to this expansion and really like nestle and nurture that medicine so it is potent and can be a light or a broadcast or some sort of symbol that we recognize and that we're proud to wear and we're proud to be a part of, right? So that's a huge thing. Your life only is as good as you're willing to invest and visualize and put into it.
right. So one thing I want to say is like this is gonna probably irk some people, but like I don't even watch. I really don't. I don't really watch a lot of the sports right now because
Mm-hmm.
2024 was about me healing. So
Yeah.
I was in books. Like I'll go ahead and tell you, like my relationship with Victoria Raider, like it completely trampolined me to another level. But
Mm-hmm.
like I did the work. I read books from like I said, Dr. Joe Vitale was one, but really like Brianna Wiest was like a huge like, and it was stupid simple.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, the mountain, the mountain is you.
Mm.
Was just like,
Yep.
why didn't I read this earlier? Right?
I think you bring up a good like a question to that. Like, where was this in health class? Like, instead of things that we sometimes didn't think that we needed at that time. But I've always done that. I've always been like, why didn't I get this? Da, 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 da. It's now. So we capture it, we bless it, we thank it, and we move with it. And that's the work that we're willing to do. Right. So yeah,
Yeah.
I love everything you've shared about that. And I want to touch into now this expansion of being diagnosed to misdiagnosed. Like, what could you share about that journey that you're willing to like open?
So there's a lot. There's a lot there. And so um it's 18. Let me try to get into the camera here. There's 18 years. There's a
Yeah.
huge spot because it's spotlight. I couldn't really go to like the length I wanted to say. But so like it's 18 years. It's from
Mm,
2006 to 2024. There was, like I said, riding a bike.
mhm.
There's a ton of falling off. There was, like I told you, like I didn't have a wife and kids. I would meet people and I was like, I really should date her. I would date her. Like I
Yeah.
should date her, but I won't because I made a decision. I didn't want anyone to carry my burden. And so that's the thing is I would get these opportunities for business. And as I got these opportunities for business, I was like, if I just was healthy. So I'm
Yeah.
telling you some of this because guess what? Guess what right now is helping me in business and just life and podcast? My relationships that I made 10 and 12 years ago.
Mhm.
I met a guy yesterday, just to kind of give you an idea. My 2025, every day is it's better than the day before.
Yeah.
So I met a guy who is from a place that in Kentucky that I lived for 12 years, Louisville, Kentucky. And he's actually my mentor's my mentor's student is his mentor. And
Wow.
we just met on a crazy Zoom, but he would have not understood my level because once he found out that guy was my mentor, he was like, "Oh, that's my mentor's mentor."
Yeah.
And guess what? My mentor was mentored by Jim Rohn. So just to kind of give you an idea, like I was getting those type of relationships, and I didn't know what to do with them.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially when you're saying that you have an expiration date. So, like,
Yes,
do I dive into a series? Do I dive into a book? Do I dive into a theory or something? But am I going to be tired? Am I going to fall apart? Am I going to remember any of this? How able am I going to be? Like, that's a lot of big questions to just say, yeah, you got cancer. Yeah, you only got this amount of time. These are kind of the things that we're going to set you up with. And it's not a hate on the medical system. It's just that's the awareness that a lot of people are walking out of these hospitals with and not knowing where to turn or what to say or what to do now, right?
right. So you said a couple of things I really want to like touch up on. First of all, I'm not a vengeful person. I forgave the doctor. I'm not. I don't even. I don't. He didn't maliciously like misdiagnose me.
Mhm.
That's just how I feel. Like I just don't think he was that type of dude or anything like that. I just don't see it. Now, I be wrong, sure, but like I'm not tapping into that. The other aspect of it is there was a lot. I mean, there was so much growth and learning. Like if you told me I if you just said, "Hey, Dwayne, I could give you a pill or a time capsule or whatever, you go backwards," or would you, let's just there's Marty McFly, whatever. Like
Yep.
you could go back. Would you do it? And I'll be honest, I don't think I would. And that's kind of painful to say that because I promise you, there was a lot of teary nights. There was a
Ugh.
lot of pissed off moments.
Mhm.
There was a lot of time where I was just like, well, I'll put it this way. Every night I would go to bed and I was like, God, I don't understand why you have got me going through this.
Mm.
Why, and when I say that is if I'm going through this, why are you bringing me opportunities? Why are you
Yeah.
bringing people that want to do business with me?
Yeah.
So part of this 18 years is where I got my entrepreneurial journey part, but also like it let me tap into like my inner child where I learned my parents had a pretty successful business. So I
Mm.
had all these tools that other people didn't have. And I was just like, I was looking to figure it out.
Yeah.
How do I create an income? How do I maintain an income without me doing the work? So I went into network marketing. I know it gets a bad rep, but guess what? I had the mindset I do not have a able body.
Right. Yeah.
I got to go find some able bodies. So my mindset was actually pretty good. But
Mm.
my but also there was times where so one thing I want to say is like so I'm taking this onion, I'm peeling off these different layers. A lot of this stuff is going to be in my books.
Yeah.
And so but I'm willing to give some parts of it. There was parts where it was just very difficult. And it's like I said, I would hit my head on the pillow and be like, I wish I could be healthy.
Mhm.
And then what's funny is when I found out I was misdiagnosed, the first thing I said was, "Are you sure?" Yeah, no. And so I think and I wanted to point that out, but like the
Yeah.
whole time I was just like, I need to get healthy. I need to get healthy. So I had a really great opportunity. Came in like, I don't know, 2014 to 2016. A lot of those years just kind of come
Mush.
smack together. Yeah, they
Yep.
mush together. So a friend of mine asked me if I would be a loan originator for mortgage industry.
Mm.
I passed my mortgage loan test, and that's a very extreme like an NMLS is a very extremely difficult test. Like some
Mhm.
people will say it's just as difficult as the bar. I don't know about that because I didn't go do the bar, but and I don't see myself doing it.
I was like, "You gonna threaten to be
No,
the Harvey Specter next?"
not at all. I love that show, but the reason I bring that up is like I did it for a year. I put my heart and my soul into it, but I realized like I wasn't capable.
Yeah.
Like my body was breaking down. So there was these periods where I was just like, okay, so the first few years I was willing to fight it.
Mm.
And I had no energy. So think about the best way to explain this disease. So I had a disease that they called it, and it turns into cancer. So some organizations call it a disease, some organizations call it cancer. I did stuff with Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. They were like, "Hey, it's a blood cancer." Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
I just roll with that. Um, one of the biggest things was just, why is this happening? I
Mm.
don't fit the parameters of this. So I'm just letting you know, like I was already thinking it and I was saying it to the doctors. I also had seen 7 doctors.
Yeah.
Wasn't till the seventh one, and as you know, with like numbers, seven's
Mm.
pretty magical number, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And he let me. He realized that there was a mistake, and so I went the first 4 or 5 years. I was always trying to do something to get better because I knew consistency was the point. I had to get consistent at something. Those small changes make big things. So
Mhm.
there was times where like I just decided, hey, I'm gonna drink water. Okay, drink water. Nothing else. Like no,
Yep.
everything else out the boat. And then that didn't work. And I was like, I need caffeine. So I went back to drinking Mountain Dew and stuff. And so
Yeah.
that was the thing. It was these different things that I would try. And I was like, well, this isn't working. Okay. I even tried vegan and like it just didn't work. It couldn't work because I didn't have it.
Did any in your time or your being be like, okay, maybe I had markers or purpose in the very initial because I was maybe not the best shape or healthy or it triggered something
So
or
no, so I was in better shape than most people. Was I like in
yeah.
great shape for me? No, I wasn't in great shape for me, but I was in good enough shape that like everybody like the day before I got diagnosed, or not diagnosed, but the first time I had an issue, I had just ran 2 miles the day before.
Mm.
So I
Mhm.
was in pretty good shape. It's just I couldn't get up 3 flights of stairs. So the way this blood cancer works is it makes you very fatigued. So think about how you feel when you have the flu. You feel like
Mhm.
crap and you're
Mhm.
tired and you're ran down. And that's what happened. So my body never went into REM. And so that's the thing you have to look. My body was never able to prepare it to repair itself.
Yeah.
And so I would get up every day and I would start my day with a quarter tank of gas while
Mm.
everybody else had a full tank. And so I had to manage it.
Yeah.
And there was just days that there was like, okay, like I know I want to go to the drive-through, but I can't. So I call my brother and my brother would have to pick up food. I mean, there was things that like it was extremely humbling. I mean,
Mm.
I had a handicap parking tag. Okay,
Wow.
cuz yeah, I couldn't. There's this one story. I uh I had to go get groceries and I parked the car in a handicap parking spot. I get out. Now, I didn't look I look healthy. And this lady was like, "Hey, you shouldn't be parking here." And I was like, "I got a handicap parking tag." This lady threw a can of whatever soup or whatever, and I just quit. I just went home. Like I was so upset.
Ugh.
And another story too is, so my mom's mom, she she had this one like there's just things about her that I personally, it's not the right type of person for me. But one of the things, when I came in, and this is like, I don't know, this is probably 6 months after I got diagnosed, and I wasn't feeling good, but I was there. I was at the family thing, and she goes, "I don't understand. He's not sick. He's not. He looks extremely healthy." Because that's the thing. The book cover was fine. It was
Yeah.
what was inside. The inside was just like, could not figure it out. I would forget things. It was so
Mhm.
bad. And
Mhm.
I feel like that was the thing that was really scary in me, was the
Yeah.
fact that like I could not think. Other thing is I was on a narcolepsy drug. And I was like, okay, hold on a second. You're giving, so think about, I am trying, my body needs to rest because now we know sleep apnea, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And what they gave me a stimulant, they gave me something to make things go faster. And so my
wow.
body was like, I have no idea how I survived those 3 months. Sorry. It's like when I look back at that, I'm looking at that should have killed me. And so
Oh, man.
when I say I'm divinely protected, I'm not kidding. Because guess what? I didn't do chemo. I didn't
Yeah,
have any of these drugs. If I would have, it killed me.
yeah, yeah, 1,000%. That's, like that's just a whole other fucking ballgame. Like,
Yeah.
holy
So when
Lanta.
so when the shooting happened, it was just like, okay, I don't understand because they gave, I have 15 years, 2021. This happened in 2022. Like
Yep.
I thought I was done.
Mhm.
And so, when I found out I was misdiagnosed, it was just different. It was like a little wind up toy where you just hold it and you hold it and you just like hold it. And then they released me and I was like, oh, I'm going to do my healing.
Yep.
And then, as you can see right now, I'm pretty full of energy and like I'm
Mhm.
ready to take over the world like Pinky and Brain. I'm not kidding. Like that's
Yeah.
what I want.
Well, and I think that's where a lot of people get, like, up in people's business when you don't know the full extent of somebody's story. Like, you can look at you, judge you from a book and that cover kind of energy, but that's a lot of hell to go through, and then people being like, "Oh, yeah, just an egotistic mid-aged man just thinking he's gonna just do the world up all a big favor," right? Like, people, this is where don't be putting in your nose, putting in your eyeballs, all this other expectation and judgment when there is something pretty massive in somebody's story until you actually take a few minutes and get to hear somebody's expansion.
Yeah. So I look at it both ways. I also look at it as motivation, which turns
Mhm.
into inspiration.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying, and I'm not trying. I hate the word try. So I'm attempting to
Yep.
use it for inspiration. I'm looking for people who have that inner flame that's burnt out,
Yeah.
but they're looking for that person that was before. And so I'm
Mhm.
looking for certain people who like they're tired of where they are right now and they
Yeah.
want to be better.
Well, I I want to go back to when we chatted. You said the whole theme about what that day was like and your vehicle. Do you mind sharing a
Yeah,
little
no,
bit of
that's
that
cool.
journey?
No, that's fine. No, it's fine. And
'Cause
thanks for bringing it up.
this is, like, literally why we're saying, like, with you, I think not even trying, what you're saying, you have applied this to your life, and that application, literally about what you're gonna share in the story, is what saved your freaking life.
Yeah. So first of all, I was taking my niece to go get ice cream. And there's so many things that like don't make sense
Mhm.
because like when I drive, I'm usually kind of I'm aggressive. And when I say aggressive, like I'm passing people when if I pass then I'm getting over to the other lane. I didn't that day. And if I would have went to the other lane, I wouldn't be here.
Mhm.
So there's that aspect. I also take ownership of the truck being there because I had a choice and I made a decision to go to the bank rather than to go get the ice cream first. So I could have not even been there, right?
Mhm.
And so I feel like the biggest problem most people have is they don't take ownership of things, of over their choices or decisions. And so for
Mhm.
me, it's like, hey, I did this. Like, did I do it to myself? No, but I put myself in this position. So I will explain to everybody what happened. So a police off they arrested a criminal. The criminal did not get searched correctly. He had a hidden gun in his waistband. He had a knife that it was attached by a rope around his neck. So like they did not check him. He went outside for they they were questioning him. They took him outside to get a smoke break. He takes the gun out, shoots one officer. He dies. Like it's tragic. And a lot of my friends know this guy too. So that was another part of like when they know that I'm okay, or they feel like I'm okay because I'm alive.
Yeah, versus
But I'm not
dead.
okay, right? Yes. So I just want to make sure that we make this point. So what happened was the criminal shot the officer, the other officer and him got shooting at each other. I was driving by, and somehow I got stuck in the crossfire. A bullet hit the truck, and so where the bullet hit the truck, you have the roof, you have the bed, and there's this bar right here. It's called the C pillar, and that C pillar isn't very wide either. It's like it's not
Mhm.
huge, and it's pretty small, and like the bullet hit the C pillar. If it would have went to eighth of an inch to the left, it takes me out. Eighth of an inch to the right, it takes my little niece out.
Mhm.
Now, here's where the spiritual side gets to it. When the shots rang out, first of all, the first shot, I thought the big truck in front of me backfired. And I was like, okay, that's, no big deal. My little niece, like, said something. She asked, what was that? And then by the time I had enough time to say that truck, and I got like back out of my mouth, then the other shots came, like I heard, and it was like, you know, I don't want to really get into that part. I'll go into the cool miracle part
Mhm.
because, and so whenever the shots, like I realized this is a gun, I closed my eyes and I went down. And when I
Mm.
did that, I saw a very bright white light. And so I say this, I didn't tell anyone this at all. And as I was telling you about the misdiagnosis journey,
Mhm.
I was in a Zoom about a month later after I found out I was misdiagnosed by the doctor. I was waiting for the sleep center test. So I didn't know what was going on. I really had no clue. I just knew that there was a possibility. I was in a Zoom. I didn't know anyone. I want to make sure that's very well known. I knew someone who was the host, but like I wasn't putting out like things about she didn't know what I was going through.
Mhm.
And so they were talking about the next week they were going to do something else. And I was like, hey, I'm probably not going to be there for this. There was a man who was a psychic in there, and he told me, my guides are telling me to tell you have been misdiagnosed. And I was like, what? And so the other part of it was he said, the shooting, you also seen a bright light that day. And I was like, I've never told anybody because I didn't want to sound
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
I was like just shocked and I was like in awe. Like I was like, okay, how does he know? So there was the other part of the spiritual part where I started opening up and being more open minded because I was like, this is my experience. So it shook my beliefs.
Mhm.
And so through that, you know, to get over the trauma of both, I was talking on another Zoom. This was in May. So the shooting happened on May 16th, 2022. There was like the anniversary of it was coming up. And so I was like, dude, I'm not going to be here. I'm dealing with this shooting. And so a friend of mine, now a friend, sorry, a friend of mine now, a really close friend, he's a master hypnotist.
Mm.
And so he was like, hey, I'd like to talk to you. I think I can help you out. So me and him exchanged numbers. I call him. We talk for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So that's how the other part of my journey is like I got hypnotized later on. And my trauma is like a neutral part. So I can
Mm.
go and talk about this and take a nap. Like it doesn't matter. Like it does not bother me. And
Yeah.
so another cool thing about hypnosis is even in recording, you can see some crazy changes, especially
Mhm.
when you have somebody that really knows what they're doing. And
Yeah.
and this still like gives me cold chills. So I did a recording 2 days before I was going to meet with him. I learned how to walk on my toes. Like when I walk, I walked on my toes. Always have. Like that's why I had like extremely huge calves.
Mhm.
After I did that, I do not walk on my toes anymore.
Wow.
The other aspect is my posture changed. I sit straight. I don't slouch. Now,
Mhm.
the chair that I'm in right now is like it's supposed to be leaned back because it's like a stool. So just to let y'all viewers know, I'm slouched a little bit, but it's not really. But when I sit, I'm also center of the chair. So it just tells you that the power of the mind is so great. And
Yeah.
so, 2 days later, I meet with him, and then the traumas are like fixed. And I meet with him every week. We meet 2 times a week with a group that I brought him 70 people. Okay,
Right?
70 people because of
Yeah.
what happened with me.
Mhm. Mhm. It's profound. Like when I introduce people, it's not just to sugarcoat or make people be fluffed up in their feathers. Like this is fucking putting it on a slate and keeping it in the archives. Like this is what miracles, processing, and purpose all fully means. And when you talked about the white light, because I didn't share with you that I was a medium and the connection to this. And when we see and we actually channel and connect to our purpose and our loved ones, our spirits, our guides, there is such magnitude and power to help and protect. And what you also shared with me is that you didn't take your truck that day because the way that you showed me that bullet was
Yep.
in an avalanche. So y'all know the old school avalanches, like that crossbar what he's talking about happened in that. So we all know that the avalanche bars are a bit bigger than just a normal one, and like, yeah, there is no way if you had your truck that day.
Yeah. So just to let everybody know, because I drove so it was my dad's truck that I was driving. So about 2 or 3 weeks before, I have an SUV, and the SUV was having issues with tire pressure. Like it would just like the pressure would get low, and it was just like a pain in the butt. Like it just was like okay. And for some reason, and I mean I know the reason now, but at that time it was just like, hey, I'm just gonna drive my dad's truck. I'm gonna deal with this. He actually talked to me a few days before, and he was like, hey, I wish you wouldn't drive my truck so much. He's like, it costs gas, and you know how parents are. So let's just be honest. Let's just
Yep.
we'll laugh at him for a little bit, but
Yep.
so that day, whenever I left the house, I was intending to drive my SUV. My dad had just told me not to drive his truck. Like he'd just rather me not. I drove the truck that day because my intuition said drive the truck. So if that C pillar, so the avalanche has got like a lot of plastic pieces on the back end,
Mm.
and so, but that avalanche has a C pillar where the SUV doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing is like, and I'm not here to talk about like other people's belief. Like I look at it as like I look at it as God. Other people call it source. Other people
Yeah.
call it universe. Like I feel like if we just keep it simple, it's something pretty profound happen, and that's all that matters. Like there
Mm-hmm.
is all that matters. We,
Yeah.
us as human beings, we're trying to make it complex when honestly it's just very simple. It's
Yeah.
something that we just don't know. Like we're aware of the. So I tell someone, it's like the wind, right? I can see the effects of the wind. I can see the flag. I
Yeah.
can feel the wind. I know it's there. I
Mm-hmm.
can't see it. It's very
Yeah.
similar.
I and that's where I just said, like, the way your story brings forward just the simplicity of how complex our life can be, but you can make a huge difference. And that's what I just absolutely am so honored and really love, that ability of how you brought so much clarity and You weren't willing just to sit on the sideline and be kind of the somebody who was victimized and just, oh, woe me, problem this and all that. Like that's huge. And the
There,
last
there,
thing.
there was some whoa me. There was, I mean, I'm not saying like I was. I'm just trying to make sure that the listeners
Yeah.
were they understood that there was parts of this journey where there was like I'm lost, I'm pissed off, I'm mad, I'm hurt, I'm crying, I'm trying to
Mhm.
figure it out, I'm disappointed. But then there's this other part of me that was like, what if? Like,
Yeah.
there's this, okay, what if I did this?
Mm.
What if something, and I feel like sometimes it's really good to dream. It's really, really good to dream. But
Yeah.
there's these places where if you allow yourself to dream and you just don't think about how the outcome happens,
Mhm.
that's the magic part, right?
Yeah.
But that's the truth. It's like this, I can't remember if I've said this or not, but like I could not have been where I am right now if it wasn't for these two traumas. They pushed me, catapulted me, trampolined me to another place. Like I don't know if I could have had those 18 years done everything correct that I would have landed the same place. Like
Mm.
my friends are influencers. My friends are millionaires. My friends are all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
It's not the same like how it used to be. Like I didn't have those type of resources.
Yeah.
And trust me, like there was a time when I really needed those type of resources and my other friends didn't have it or were willing to give. Like
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
friends now are like they're there to support me.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
and I think that's why a lot of us we say like it's about your environment, your habitat, right? Like you need to see the 5 people you hang around with really will show me what you are willing to invest and have in your life, because if it's all the boohoo, brothers out there, it doesn't bring in any big difference moving forward to your life now, right?
yeah, I mean, it's environment is one thing. You can overcome environment. You just have to be able to say I don't want this.
Mm.
That's it. I don't want this. And then you
Mhm.
move on. And
Yeah.
so I think that's the other aspect is we have to be able to say it's my decision whether I stay. And that goes out to like the people that are in abusive relationships, like
Yeah.
come on, like you know better and you're staying cuz you're trying to change someone.
Mhm.
I can't change somebody. I can help them transfer. I can help them um, get better. I can help. I can guide them to transformation. Sorry, I was having an issue with saying the word transformation for some
It's
reason,
okay.
but it's really just guiding them. Like it's not. It's not that over complex. But when
Mhm.
people are treating you bad, you can leave.
Yeah.
It's a protect your energy, and
Mhm.
so um, I look at it. I look at things a little different than some people, but I look at the single moms and the single dads the same. They're
Yeah.
trying to protect the kid. Like I'm not really too worried about all the other stuff. Like they're in the same boat. Why those I don't understand why they don't like play nicer together is my point. It's like, well,
Mhm.
this person's going through this and this person okay, but you should be on the same team and that's where there's some different things that you guys actually have in common.
Mhm.
There's so many things like that. Sorry.
No, and that you're fully, that's a full observation that we do have this experience to bring children, have choices, be in families and jobs. It's just like you said, we can all make that choice. And I think that's where um we are navigating that, because if you listen to another podcast, we go into the depth and definition about choices. That this is the best that can happen, but Will you do better? Can you do better after that exact point? Yeah, you can break up, be shitty at each other, yell, scream, fight, whatever, be an addiction. But do you then really ask yourself, are you willing to be better after those low points? That's it.
That's the thing. That's the thing is like for me, I was willing to be better,
Mm,
but there's people that were like, there's people that I know who had an able body. They felt like they had a better mindset, but they truly didn't because the work doesn't prove it.
yeah.
I mean, y- and that's also like one of my reasons I built my program like this is because I knew I needed a community to keep me consistent,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
But I also knew I needed to be consistent to have a community,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? So it's like it's a perfect storm.
Yep.
And also, I've done this thing twice. I kind of know what kind of works, but I also know I have a loving and giving heart, and I want people to understand that maybe they just haven't met the right person that actually pours into them like how I do. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's the thing is like I am willing to support and help you. You have to be willing to support and help yourself.
Amen. Amen. And you know what? Like, I've been, you know, in this industry or this walk or this path, whatever you want to call it, for over 10 years now. And professionally will be 10 years this March.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And and that's exactly like I say to you, like what you're saying. Like, I want to help you. I want you to achieve those heights and get there. But the way that you burn yourself and you're willing to burn me, I really tell people, like, you got to find out what your why is before you start on sometimes these journeys, because you're not investing back to you. You're investing in the story, the program, the plan, the problem, versus it being like, what do you need? Because there is a lot of people that want to help, and we have seen it. I've donated thousands of hours, dollars, experiences, given away retreats, programs, on and on, or I've bumped up my prices and done all that. What I've noticed is you have to be willing to invest in you. So if somebody's willing to invest back into you, you are worthy of that receiving. You just got to keep your demons and your bullshit and your pain from taking that away from you. You got to start fighting for you again.
So March is a very special month for me. So
Mm.
just want to say like so it's my birthday.
There
But
we go.
also my brother's birthday is the day before mine, and
Oh, cool.
my grandpa's birthday is the day after mine. So we
Wow.
always had this like big thing. And so the other thing is on March 8th of last year, 4 days before my birthday, I got an early birthday present. I was misdiagnosed.
That's insane.
So
Wow.
we have synchronicities off of synchronicities.
Yeah. And I literally started at a St. Patrick's Day and started doing card readings, and I didn't really fully understand why I was doing it. It was for free, and the lady that I did the reading for, she said this was the best reading I've had in 25 years. Now, I like, I have cards. I work with that. Yes, I'm a medium and a psychic, but what I have journeyed with is I am a tour guide. So whatever tools and aspects and work we got to do to work with you, that's what I'm willing to bring and experience versus it just being like segregated in one thing, right? Because I think sometimes we get into those, how you dived into it, of the modalities, right? There's so much out there that we can tap our feet into. But
It's all ancient so civilization stuff too. That's the other thing. It's very simple stuff. And I mean, I
mhm,
it's science based. That's the other part. And so
mhm,
there's a part like like I love the Bible. It's my number one book, but like there's aspects of the Bible that like teach this. It's just that
mhm,
we're not willing to look at it and listen. There's so much that we have to understand
yeah,
that when someone is having like a medical emergency and they just miraculously happen, like the doctor's office labels that a medical miracle.
Mm.
So there's all kinds of miracles that like God is in the miracle business, like even right now. And like I want to say, like I that wasn't my perspective. That was so my friend, the Victoria Raider, is the one that's talked about this. But think about it right now. My heart is pumping.
Mhm.
I am breathing. Right. Those
Mhm.
are two miracles. We look at them as big and small miracles.
Yep.
They're all the same to God. They're all miracles.
Yeah. Well, you wanna get crazy into genetics and things like that on a scientific base. You are a 1 in billion chance into your creation, your development, your existence, and your genetics, right? Like that's the gift of this. It's a 1 in the rest of the world with you. So I think that's where when people are dealing with this like body dysmorphia, losing limbs and having that amputation, dealing with more of the medical diagnosis, or working with vision or hair loss or weight gain or weight underweight, right? Nutrition. There's so much to this, right? Like there is a lot of things that can go wrong, but for what purpose, for what reason, for what um meaning behind it, it's between pretty much what I always say, your heart and God, right? It's you were put here for a purpose. And I've shared this on another podcast, but my favorite scene, if you've ever watched The Chosen by Dallas Jerkins, so that's the Bible based
Right.
journey.
Yes.
And he was actually rejected from Hollywood. Like he
Right.
was removed from contracts, didn't want this in public media. And he's like, well, Russell Crowe did, like Noah and did all these other things, right? Like why is this going to be so against it? And watching that series is life changing, right? Like if you don't want to read the Bible or dive into much, or you're starting to discover your purpose in life, it's a great start or just a basis to it. But I shared this again in another one where it was talking about Little John. And Little John was told that they're going to go out, they're going to be the healers, they're going to work through the word of Jesus, and be the people that share this message. And Little John pulled Jesus aside and said, okay, well, Jesus, it would look really good, if I'm healed, right? Like I'm limping, I'm not healthy. How is that going to look if I'm healing other people and I'm not healed myself? And Jesus said, well, what power would it look like if people saw you still believing in the word, in the mission, than just you all healed and spunky and not doing the things that they need to be making a double check and look at? And I just
Right.
started bawling. Like
Wow.
that was powerful. Knowing that, no, maybe I'm not going to be a size 0, or I'm not going to have maybe this different type of life, but I have what I need because that's what's gifted to me, and that's what I'm going to continue my mission with.
Yeah. So I've never watched the series. I have to watch it now. Like,
Oh,
but
you hop
yeah,
on
I
that.
know I've heard really great things because when you said it, I was like, have I seen it? I was like, I know that I was going to, and I just never watched it. But like,
Yeah.
you made it seem like, hey, it's probably something I could definitely watch. Uh,
Yeah.
I feel that all of this stuff is being shown to us so much, and it's
Mm,
either being shown so much to us to either make us laugh at it, to be like, oh, it's so that's so simple, like that can't work, right? Right? But
yep.
they put it right in our face. But it's the same thing as like when you find people who are dating their best friend, but
Yeah.
they're just best friends, right? they're not looking at them for like love. They're looking at all these things, and like especially like with movies and stuff, they're like, and then they fall in love, but the person's here, but they're
Mhm.
always looking out here, and so I think
Yeah.
that's very important. Um, we're spiritual beings. We're supposed to be spiritual.
Mhm.
All the other stuff like kind of mucks it up, though, right? Like it does. Like it really does.
Yep.
Like
It does.
the doctrine, the judge part, the fact that like some people aren't open minded to just realize that like all of this stuff, it wasn't created by God. It wasn't
Mhm.
it wasn't created by a man. Sorry, I said guy, but I meant a man. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like, man created a car, man created a will. These things, they're not created by man, and I think that's very important when you can take things back and you're like, oh, this is interesting. This is
Mhm.
And so just to let y'all know, I feel like that at least lets me say I am interested to know more, right? I feel
Yeah.
like that's the thing is it's like that psychic who like helped set me free. Like, I ended up getting the stuff anyway. But the point is like my peace of mind was just like so incredible because I was like, well, he said this, so like I'm good.
Mhm.
And I'm not
Mhm.
saying like I 100% believed him at that moment. I was just like, okay, that's too coincidency, and I don't believe in coincidences. I'm just letting you know I don't believe them.
Yeah.
But someone actually gave me the definition of coincidence is actually really cool if you look at Hebrew. I can't remember
Mhm.
it exactly word for word, but it was like, oh. So for your listeners, like look that up because I was just like that makes me want to actually use the word a little bit more, but we've just put it to where it's just like it's lost its meaning.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the important part about this is that we actually have way more control over what was actually supposed to be something. Like the biggest thing that has been talked about lately is Jesus is actually Yahweh. So it's like you actually breathing.
Right.
That's the actual Hebrew spelling of Jesus. And it's breath. It's the breath in you. And that is so powerful, right? That is meaningful.
So think about there's two things that you're like guaranteed in this life. One breath, one heartbeat. Well, there's actually three, sorry, and then death. But that's
Mhm.
really the only guarantee that people have that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. And I believe that death is a graduation. So when everybody's freaking out that they're going to die soon and they're going to be this and that, well, if you can tell me that you feel pretty wrapped up in this lifetime, that's when I can say you might have a bit more of a chance to death. But the people that are like clinging to their bed sheets, fearing death, you ain't dying anytime soon. That is like you are still processing something pretty deep that will then gently journey you through what death needs to be. The reason why people have wretched or mean or harsh endings or sitting in a bed for years on end, there's some karma, and that's a body's process. So I always say gift is a graduation, it's a blessing, not a curse.
Right. So one thing you said that I just want to say is like because someone actually told me this today, and it like had this big, I don't know, like it just like it like it just filled my heart with so much gratitude. But they said, Dwayne, with all the things that you done, like all the things you went through,
Mhm.
you always stayed kind, you always stayed loving,
Yeah.
and you were always thankful.
Mhm.
And when she told me that, and I thought about it, how much better of like a place would we have be at if we all did that, right?
I think about that all the time. I do. I like we literally went to this big trade show, and I've done trade shows for a lot of my life. It was the kindest, like there was one person that was snobby, but that was out of 2,000 people that walked through those doors. And I was like, what happened to the public? Like, what's going on? I've never seen this level or frequency of kindness. And like, literally, you wanting to thank all of the listeners and viewers before you even started your story. Like, that. That's showing you authentically are here in kindness and in care. So thank
Yeah, I mean,
you. Thank you.
thanks. You're welcome. And so I am going to graciously receive that. I appreciate that so much. And so I feel a lot of people are afraid to say what's actually really on their mind.
Mm,
Like there's things that I have done, and it's not like a strategic way to like me get ahead.
mm.
It's a strategic way to let me see if I'm aligned with that person,
Yes. Yes.
right? But
Yes.
I didn't know what all that was, but I just was like, how do I know this person's for me? And that's that's the wonderful thing about our energy is
Mhm.
like I can meet people and I can pretty much understand that they are either supposed to be here
Mm.
for a short period,
Mhm.
a season,
Mhm.
maybe multiple seasons, and a
Mhm.
lifetime.
Yeah.
And I could probably pick that out like pretty quick
Yeah.
just because of their energy. And so I thought I was just reading people. That's what I thought for a lot of years.
Yeah.
I'm just really good at reading people, but I really wasn't. I was really good intuitive.
Mhm.
And so we have to set certain boundaries to keep people away from our energy. It's very difficult. But once you learn that lesson and you realize, like, oh, I'm actually doing this to protect myself
Mm.
and them. And so that's the thing is like when I understood I was protecting both and not just myself. Because here's the thing when you start prioritizing things, like, so if I prioritize me being more confident, it's probably you're probably not going to realize it as much. And I actually start thinking that I'm arrogant,
Mm.
right? Same
Yeah.
thing with um, same thing when I start prioritizing self care. I'm thinking, oh, I'm am I getting too selfish? Am I thinking
Mm.
about myself too much?
Yep.
So when you start really just like challenging your beliefs, because what's the word that is in the middle of belief? Lie,
Mm.
right?
Yep.
All of our beliefs are lies because guess what? It's off of our experience.
Mhm.
My experience is different than yours. Your experience is different than your neighbor. And
Yeah.
so when you start looking at it from those levels, like I believe me and you do, it changes the game. It truly changes the game. And so when I work with athletes, I really try to find out what they tick, how what makes them tick.
Mhm.
But I also try to figure out, hey, how can I make them a better person as
Yeah.
I'm doing these other things? Because I believe there's a lot of life lessons I can teach you by using sports.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, and I think that's where it's just like we're all trying to figure out, what do you learn best with? Is it textured? Is it vocal? Is it visual? Is it audio, right? Like, is it that feeling? Because that's how we're going to absorb it, understand it, and process it. And I love how you broke down the word of believe, because sometimes people are like, just fake it till you make it, just tell yourself you're going to do it, right? Like that kind of energy. And that's where, you know, I guess there's a sense that you might be lying to yourself it's going to get better, but when it happens, was it really a lie?
Right.
Right?
So
Like,
what do you think about affirmations? I'm sorry to interrupt. I just
no.
look when you said that. So like for me, there's a truth and there's a lie.
Mhm.
For me, affirmations are a no go, and I'll explain why. Is that one side of myself is like, oh yeah, we can do that, and one side was like, no. So what I said is, I'm choosing to be this.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a choice I'm
Yeah.
making. I'm making a conscious choice. Also, the other thing is, I'm willing to accept.
Mm. Mhm.
So those things are the things that I use when I'm looking for things that I do not have or I do not believe that like I am. you know, that, those things are correct. And so there's just it's a different way of looking at things
Yeah.
and to reframe things. And
Mhm.
so I think reframing is another big aspect, especially when it comes to manifestation.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, like I'm a huge law of attraction person, but
I
like,
was gonna say we got some secret. We got some Rhonda Burns coming out.
yeah. So the beautiful thing about this is like I really didn't know what I was doing.
Mm,
But think about it, I made a path for myself somehow to go play basketball overseas. That path does not really exist.
yeah.
The other part is in the last year, I have manifested so much. I didn't even realize what I was doing. I live in a place of gratitude, but my problem was there was these other emotions I had, being angry, being sad. And guess what? I was manifesting something from those. And guess what I
Mhm.
got?
Mhm.
I got things that made me angry and sad. But when
Mhm.
I started feeling with gratitude, look at all the positive things that I have that happened to me. So just to let you know, this is some of the small stuff. I met a mindset coach. I saw a video of her and I was like, I cannot wait till I get the money to have her as a coach.
Mm.
Okay? And this is
Yep.
through videos. This is not, there was a situation where she actually like they sent an email, like a VA, whatever, like their email system, and it was something I really wanted. I was actually looking for it at the time. So me thinking I would get just a VA, I was like, may I get the replay, please?
Mm.
That's it. I put it out of the universe. It's like, may I get the replay? Right?
Yep.
Guess what? The mindset coach answers all of her emails. Guess what? Me and her had a conversation. And this was also 2 months. Like, yeah, it was 2 months prior that I was like, oh, I wanted to work with her.
Yeah.
She's my mindset coach now.
Unreal.
Me and her had a conversation, and I told her, and she loves me. Like, she knows that like right now I'm not working with her because I have to. I have a purpose. I have such a big purpose. But she's
Yep.
like, I love you so much that like I want to equip you with all this stuff, right? But
Yep.
that's the thing is like, so I had that relationship. I had the relationship with Victoria Raider. Same thing. She never accepts friend requests.
Mm.
I'm not gonna say never because that's she does, but I'm just saying like it's not something she does. She
Yeah.
usually does not accept. Probably 99.9999% unless she's like expecting. I just don't want people to give her, requests. She accepted mine.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like when you're working in that type of secret sauce, that magic, whatever, it's a very beautiful place. Same
It is.
thing. I met someone the other day. I was out of my comfort zone. Like I was extremely out of my comfort zone. Like on Facebook where you have like friend suggestions and you have
Yep.
friend requests, right?
Yep.
So I was doing a couple of podcasts. The friend request was up there. And so I was like, oh, all these new people, right? Like because of me doing this podcast, cool.
Yeah.
And so I probably did like 10 and I went to the other room and I came back and there was like a few more. There was like a whole bunch more. And I was like, oh, that's odd. Like I just did 10 like maybe 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And so I started accepted all these people, like 20 people. And then I realized, oh, that's a friend suggestion. So I'm like, oh
Oh.
my gosh, I just sent all these blind friend requests.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there going to their profile, having to click, right?
Yep.
I kid you not. There was one person I kept. I saw her Facebook cover photo and I was like, that is extremely interesting.
Mm.
I saw on the other side that she is very spiritual. That
Amazing.
I think her thing says she loved Jesus or Jesus loved her, one or two. And I was like,
Yep.
okay, she can stay.
She's
Okay.
in the court. Yep.
Yeah. So I typed up a message and I was like, I do not do this, but I gave it kind of the thing, and then I also said I'm always looking for like godly people, but I'm also always like, you're a life insurance salesman or agent, or she's not agent, but she just sells. And I was
Mhm.
like, so I feel there's like two parts of this, like, and so what's amazing is the next morning she sends me a message and she's like, thanks, and she was like talking about the insurance part, like she was talking about the life insurance.
Yeah.
And then she just so happened to be best friends with one of my friends.
Oh, cool.
So again, coincidences over coincidences all the
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
All these synchronicities. But I found a new friend at the very least. And so
Mhm.
I'm just letting you know, like, the comfort zones they're boundaries that we created. That
Yes.
no one created these for us. We've created them ourselves. And so even me, Mr. Mindset, Mr. Show Up to Win, right? I still have them. I still have those limited beliefs. It's
Yeah.
just that I'm aware of them.
Mhm.
And I want your listeners to understand the awareness part is the most important part because that's where you need to work on.
Mhm.
But I have things I have to work out too.
Well, we're all
It's part
human.
of it, right? But I just was letting you know, like, I would not have met like a really great person if I didn't come out my comfort zone.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I had over 100 applicants, and this was like a Facebook group that was find a guest and all those kinds of things. So I was worried because some of these are scammy and whatever. I went through 1,000 of these groups, right? And the one group that I found that we met in, that was I'm a big fisherwoman, and this was a honey hole. This was like real authentic. Like, we've got 57 episodes that we're recording in these next 2 weeks, in the next 2 weeks. And that's like literally the reality check of like, that was because putting yourself out there. I have had more fun these last 2 weeks than I've had in a really long time, connecting and sharing these times and these stories with everybody like this. Like, that's the beauty, and your life is limited to the way that you will not expand.
Right.
That's
So I,
facts.
I have some I have a fun story to tell you. So I've been looking for a speaker coach.
Mm,
And so I've talked to tons of people, like a bunch of people. Some are very well known, some are not. And like I'm just like, I don't know if this is the one. I was talking to my uncle, who's a he was a national champion speech person in college. Okay,
wow. Yeah.
one of his friends is a speaker coach, and she
Mm.
works with actors and actresses and politicians. And so here's the funny thing: I might have met my speaker coach 30 years ago.
Right?
Yes.
100%.
How incredible is I'm sitting there spending all this time and effort trying to
Seeking.
figure out,
Yeah.
and it's already done. I mean, and that's the thing is when you do things and things are already done, and it's just put in the effort and show up and do stuff. I mean, like I
Mhm.
said, I'm Mr. Show Up to Win, so I have to say show up to win, like,
Yeah.
because I show up with the intention of like having great conversations and things like that.
Mhm.
But truly, how incredible is it that I met this person? And this is possible. I'm not sure. I'm going to just announce it here. She's my speaker coach as soon as she
Yeah.
answers her phone, right? It's really, I mean, and that's the thing is like my story is so captivating
Yeah.
that
Well,
everyone is like, how can I help you? How can I support you? And I feel that lady is going to be my speaker coach
mhm. And I
because where
think
I
that
want to get, I have to have that. And so,
yeah.
sorry.
No, and that's what all I was going to say is like, I think that's where everybody kind of gets a little bit like wheel alignments. If we're going to talk about vehicles, that's where you need your wheel alignment. Like, you need to come back and to get into that context of like, if you keep yanking all your energy over something you can't understand versus trusting your path, you're always going to be fighting against that road. So like, align to it, or go to a mechanic and figure your shit out, or no drive at all, right?
Because you can't drive straight. And that's the
No.
thing is like when you're out of alignment, something's wrong, and like it's gonna swerve. Like
Yeah.
it's not going into the direction, and so you got to get it to straighten up. And guess what? The other tire might be out of alignment. Same
Yeah.
thing. So you meet these people all the time, and like we're either in alignment or we're not. But guess what? If we trust our energy.
Mhm.
We trust the relationship. We
Mhm.
also trust our intuition. We're not
Mhm.
going to be out of alignment very long.
No.
Like I don't know about you, but like I met someone through that podcast group,
Yep.
and he was a scammer, and I knew it like that. And I was like, okay, I'm not, he got kicked out of the group, but I'm just letting you know, like I knew, hey, this dude was not good energy. I did
Yeah.
not want anything to do with him. And
Well,
like,
and I love that you bring that up because yeah, we literally you are going to start feeling this. It's going to start feeling like a little bit of a fast-paced tango that you're going to have bold movements, but it's going to flow and look very tasty as you're journeying through that life when
it,
you are fully trusting that alignment. Every
it's
time that that's kind of throwing hoodwinked or problems or scams in your world, it's because it's trying to test you on what really are you going to corely believe in it.
what do you want?
Yeah.
It's going to test you. How do you want it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to test you on your integrity. It's always going to test your integrity,
Yeah.
and it's going to make you have to um, question your trust.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you think about it all from that point, but when it starts quick, that's great. But also, is it quick and simple and easy?
Yeah.
And that's when you know you're in alignment. I mean, it's like when me and you met. Like we could have spent a whole day talking, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it could have been like we could have just sat there and just had conversation all day.
Yeah.
But we were like, hey, let's keep this for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
There was like I think we talked for like 15, 20 minutes. But that's the
Yep.
thing is like you just know when you meet good people and they're like you can have conversation, but also people who are kind, like that's the type of people I like. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just one of those things. Like it was meant to be for me and you to somehow be connected.
A
And I
thousand
don't
percent.
know if that's through a business relationship, later on, or we're becoming
Yep.
best friends. Like that part, that's later on. You
Mm-hmm.
got to worry about and the whole connection part.
Yeah. And that's what I kind of like want everybody to kind of hear as we kind of wrap it up on like you get to be that co-creator, that artist of your existence and life. You just might have to learn how to work with your tools a bit more, but have fun with it. Play. Like we can be all serious Bettys for so long, but you're really going to rob yourself of that potential and that opportunity. And, like you said, you wouldn't be here today if you didn't find the tools to work on it and then just sit in that survival, victim mentality to do the things that, oh, I never had my career and this is it. You're willing to go and put your heart, your love, your kindness back out on the line and say, hey, coach, I'm in. I'm ready to do this work with my team again.
Yeah. So to sum this up with what you just said, I've been on the sidelines.
Yeah.
The coach didn't even know I was talented at certain things. I didn't even know I was talented. Honestly, I'll tell you that. So one of the fun things that happened last year is the person that helped me with my biggest like moment for a period. He ended up not being the person that he says he was,
Mm-hmm.
but I had the moment of like, oh, I belong. But here's the thing: I'm more talented than he was. He was just in a different place than I was at that time. And so I tell that to say you just never know.
Yeah.
But like what he wants is the things that I'm going to become.
Mm-hmm.
And he is actively trying to do those things, right? I didn't want this.
Yeah.
I'm not a spotlight person. My purpose is just that big.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you start working in your purpose rather than what you really truly want, because I feel like that it's the ego part of us,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not an ego driven person. Yes, I do have an ego. I feel like I want to have the best podcast on this part, right? You have like 50 whatever.
Yeah.
Like I want to be number one. I'm sorry. That's I should. I should want that because I want to be able to deliver that type of value.
Yeah.
But I also know there might be somebody better, but there might be somebody worse. It doesn't matter. It's about
Mhm.
what type of effort I put in. And
Yeah.
so, um, but it's kind of funny. The guy that I'm talking about, like, he wants what I have. He wants the things that I'm able to become, and yet he's trying to do anything he can to get there. And I'm just like, it's easy. I'm showing up. Like I'm showing up with the intention to get better and learn. Like,
Mhm.
but God gave me a talent for speaking.
Yep.
I just didn't realize it was a talent. I thought I was just a basketball player.
Mhm.
I,
And
I,
that's I was just
I
gonna
didn't see
say
the
that
importance. No,
of
I
it.
just didn't see the importance of it.
Yeah. And that's what I love about this whole journey, right? Like people can just see you as that basketball geek guru, whatever kind of tone. People can see you as the victim that was shot at. You can see as the medical misdiagnosis, the guy who never got what his dreams needed in life. Like you could put all these negative connotations and spins versus seeing the actual like the gunpowder to this bullet, that this bullet has hit in a bullseye, and that is what's going to be magnificent with
Yeah,
it.
I mean, so the beautiful part, and I mean, the most beautiful part is like I took a long journey to get where I probably could have been at 19, 20 years if I would have been looking at being a speaker. I mean,
Yeah.
but also that's part of the internet. Like, my uncle, he's talking about, you got to be careful because, if you get on the internet, and you get famous and all this, like, I don't care. The
Mhm.
reason I don't care is I'm so purpose driven,
Yeah.
but I also am mindful of the things I do. But guess what? I, I don't care. And the
Yeah.
reason I don't care is like I see myself as Dwayne. I don't see
Mhm.
myself as Mr. Show Up to Win when the lights go off. I don't see those things.
Yeah.
I'm just a regular person. Sorry. But, and I feel once you can truly live that, it
Mhm.
just be like, hey, I am me.
Yeah.
I am truly me. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be anyone else. Like I'm getting compared to a really popular podcast guy, and I
Yeah.
can't even watch him because guess what? I don't want to imitate him.
Yeah.
But I think
And I
that's really
think that's
important, right?
sometimes the best thing as like a race car driver or a person. You just stay, you keep your eyes on the prize. What you were gifted and told and vowed to do, that's the importance. Might sound batshit crazy to somebody else, but take the bull by the horns, live your own freaking life, and have fun with it. That's it.
Yep.
Keep it simple.
Simple is the way to go. I'm telling you, like every time that it starts getting complex with people, I'm like, okay, slow down.
Yeah.
We got to roll this back and let's break this down to like just a few actionable steps. And then, I don't need a whole computer program. I just need, a few things.
No, amazing. Well, Dwayne, how do we find you? What is this taking over the world? We need to know where we're at and watch you grow as this light just really lights up behind your butt and takes off into the sky. So, where do we find you?
So thank you. Um, so right now I'm launching a program called Show Up to Win. It's
Okay.
going to be on showuptowin.com. And so it launches on February 1st.
Ooh.
So if this comes out before or after, it kind of depends.
Yeah.
Um, but if it's after February 1st, you go at showuptowin.com. But if
Yeah.
it's before, I have a website called showuptowin.info. And so show up the number 2, not spell it out. And so we have that. I'm working on 2 books. I hope one will be released this year. If I can get 2, I will. I'd love to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can catch me on Facebook. That's probably where I reside the most.
Okay. 'Kay.
But like the socials and stuff, it wasn't a priority. And what's funny is I've actually built socials for other people. If I
Amazing.
haven't built, I didn't build my own because I was sick. I was,
Yeah.
and so this whole last year it was all about healing. So, yeah, and so if you go and you fill out that information of show up to win, like, and you put, so like, I don't require your phone number. I'm not going to text you,
Okay.
but but if you put your phone number in, I might actually call you and text you and be like, "How can I help you?"
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm that loving and caring, and I really want to see people succeed.
Yeah.
And I know 'cause there's a lot of people that say that are like in the coaching business. I truly just want to see them because guess what? I get to be the front row seat,
Yeah.
and I get to see the challenge and them overcome. It's one of the one of the most rewarding things in the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. And thank you for just the genuine soul that you are. There's not many out there, and honestly, Dwayne, you bring such an inspiration, and I hope so many of the viewers and listeners, they get to dive in and do share that contact and that connection, cuz yeah, you are absolutely a peach to journey and listen and to share extra chats and visits with. So I cannot wait to continue seeing you, and I will be one of the big cheerleaders on this journey for you ahead. But we are super excited to have you on the Niche Network. So, your information, all that's going to be up and launched on our website. And also, we will definitely have some like bigger functions and things in the future. So,
Absolutely.
I absolutely will be your pinky to the brain on taking over the
Nice.
world with you.
I'm just letting you know, like when I host my podcast, like I'll definitely have to have you on. So that would
Thank
be
you.
cool. Yeah, you're
Amazing.
welcome. And so, but I definitely will take the invitation to run it back again. So I just
Okay.
want to let you know, like, I don't offer this to everyone, but I'll offer it to you because, like, you're truly just a wonderful soul and a beautiful soul with that. And so, we just want to say thank you so much for having me. And again, like your listeners, like we couldn't do this without you. And
Yeah.
so, I really just want the listeners to understand, like, you're giving up your time.
Mhm.
I value my time, and I know you value yours. But just to give that to me and to allow me to tell you my story and my struggles and my triumphs, like, is one of the most rewarding and most like grateful things for me. It just lights me up. It lights me up because I'm like, oh, like they want to know. They want
Yeah.
to know because they care. That's the other part.
Mhm.
They want to know because they care.
I think you've just found yourself a new position as a kindness coach, because there's not a lot of motherfuckers out there that need a little bit more sugar in their life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's really just that core principle, just like what we said, like be loving,
Yeah.
be giving, and be kind. That's it.
Yeah.
And world be a lot better.
100%. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, and blessings on the journey. And as again, we will catch you all next time. So thanks all for watching and viewing, and we will see you all. Thank you. Good night.